Good morning, y'all. I'm Marlene Bush, and this is Stitching by the Lake. Today is Monday, June the 7th. And it's about 9:30 in the morning, although you couldn't tell it by the light outside. It is a terribly dark and rainy day today. I want to go to the grocery store, but I'm trying to wait between bouts of rain. I think there's going to be a little break around 12:30 or 1 today, so I'm aiming for that. We'll see. In my last video, I told y'all when I started out that I had a problem with the sound on my computer, and 2 or 3 of you mentioned that I had a problem with sound. I'm sure that's because you couldn't hear me at the very first to say that. I hope that I have it fixed. I did some changing on my computer. I video on a computer, a MacBook, and honestly, there's something I think I'm missing on here, but I can't figure it out. I've researched and I've turned up everything that I can think of to turn up, and I have a brand new mic and all of that kind of stuff. So I hope that the sound is much better today, and I'm also trying to speak up a little bit more, so we'll see. I don't have a lot to talk about. I did not do Stitch Mania, although I had a couple of starts in May, nothing unusual. But I've got 3 or 4 things that I finished and some whips, and so I thought I would just bring those out and show them to you and not wait a whole lot longer. Summer gets away from me if we're not careful. Not much going on personally. We went up to my son's this past weekend. Andrew, our grandson, who is 12, has been studying martial arts for 5 years, and he received his first degree black belt on Saturday. So we were certainly going to be there for that. That was pretty exciting. Let's see what else. I haven't done anything else. Honestly, I haven't. Just pretty much have been at home, and I'm reading a lot right now. I'm not sure exactly why, and I'm not reading anything major, just whatever pops up on my free list. That's kind of what I'm doing. But I'm stitching too, just not as much as I have in the past. So let's get into it. What have I been doing stitching wise? Well, first, I had a giveaway on my last video, and it was for this kit, which is a DesignWorks kit called Bathing Beauties. It has the floss and the fabric in it. I bought it because I saw it and it was so beautiful stitched up, and I just knew I would get it stitched, but I haven't. And right now I don't see that coming, so I'm giving that one away. And I did the random comment picker, and the winner was Barb Severino. Barb, I'm going to put my email address, I hope I remember that, in the box down below. And if you'll email me your mail information, I'll send that out to you. I've got a giveaway for this video, but I'm going to wait until later in the video because it's on the bottom of my stack over here. First, I'm going to talk about some FFOs. Several months ago, maybe even a year ago, I finished this one. The name of this is GB 1790, and it's from Hewitt Hill. I stitched it on 30 count lamb's wool, and I used a Victorian Motto sampler thread called New Flag. I'm really liking that color. She has several colors, red colors in her Americana series that are just beautiful. This one, this frame, I found at Hobby Lobby, and I love this unusual top on it. They had frames 50% off last week, so I bought that one. I think it was maybe a $20 frame, and I got it for $10. I'm thinking that may be what it was. And, let's see, another FFO. This was a new start, and a finish, and an FFO, and it was a PDF download from Not Forgotten Farm. I'm going to try to hold that kind of close so you can see. It's called A Happy Life, and it says very little is needed to make a happy life. I just love that saying. Love that. I made this one into a pillow. I don't remember what fabric I used for this, but it really doesn't matter because I dyed it. So it isn't like it started out. It was a scrap that I have of a very light colored fabric. I did use the suggested colors in her pattern. I stuffed this one with a mixture of lavender and walnut shells. Smells wonderful. I backed it with a piece of wool. Actually, this is not 100% wool. It's a wool blend. It was something I bought at Goodwill, a jacket or something that I cut up into pieces because I liked that color. I wanted this one to be a sort of primitive look, and so I didn't put any trim on it. It's headed for my dough bowl. I also finished, let me find this pattern. Well, I put this card, my notes, on the wrong thing. And I do know that fabric too, on A Happy Life. It started out as 28 count oaken. I did have that written down. This pattern from Pineberry Lane is called Mrs. Maguire B Charmer. And I started this back in 2018 and finished it in 2020. I showed it to you last video because I was not sure how I was going to finish it. I had this box that had a snowman on the front, came from Hobby Lobby. I painted it. It was black here. You can see the back of it's black. But I painted it with this brown acrylic paint. And I stretched the piece around a piece of foam core. And I glued that to the top of the box. This ribbon I had in my stash, it's not fabric, I don't think. It's like a twine feeling, very rustic. Anyway, I glued that around the outside edges, and I think it worked perfectly. It just seemed to fit, like maybe a small fence. Kind of reminds me of that. Anyway, I really like this finish, and I'm excited to have this one done and can't wait to get it hung up on my wall in my bedroom. I also started and finished, this is my working copy, but Heart in Hand, Land That I Love. I showed y'all several patriotic finishes in my last video, and this one was the first one of those that I chose to stitch. I have stitched it and finished it, and I have made it into a needle book. And this is what the front of it looks like. This fabric is a 28 count. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just like that other one I said a while ago. I don't know what it started out as, but I sprayed this with antiquing spray. Not just once, but 2 or 3 times because I couldn't get it right where I wanted it. It took me a while to do that. I did use the called for threads, and I put on the back of it, several years ago, a friend of mine made me this little machine embroidered flag heart. And I've had it stuck up on my wall looking for something to use it for. And so I thought it would be perfect on the back of this. I put a button closure with this ribbon to wrap around. It goes, well, let me see here. Right, see, it goes like that. And I didn't do anything on the inside other than add some pins and a little wool heart. I have not stitched that wool heart down. I stuck a little dab of glue there, put a couple of needles. But I'm going to go ahead and whip stitch that, I think. I don't like the way it looks just glued. So that needs a couple of more stitches. And I also finished, I showed you last time that I had started Happy Birthday America by Brenda Gervais. Looks like this, and a million people are stitching it or have stitched it already. This is what my finish looks like. This was a kit that I bought, so I used the called for threads and fabric that came in that kit. It was fun to stitch. Didn't take a whole long time. It goes on this little box, and it's got fabric that goes around it. I don't have any red paint right now to paint this, so I've got to make a trip to Hobby Lobby. That's all my FFOs and FOs. I do have a couple of whips. This past weekend, I told you we were out of town, and we left Saturday morning early, really early. I'm not crazy about getting up and getting dressed early. I don't mind getting up. It's the getting dressed part. But anyway, it's a 3-hour drive up to our son. So we got up early and went to his house and didn't get home till yesterday afternoon. So I didn't get much stitching time for Blackbird weekend. But this is what I'm working on. Coming to My Garden, Blackbird Designs. It's a beautiful pattern. I've seen several people stitching it. Christina from Hollis Hands Creates showed it in her video, last video, which was just a day or two, maybe yesterday, that I watched that. The first time I showed it to you on the last video, I had finished the outside border. And all I got done last night was this one motif. That wasn't very much, but it did take me a little while. Got a little thread hanging there. I love that color. What is that? Sanguine. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not. Sanguine? I don't know, but it's a beautiful rosy pink. And then the other whip that I have worked on, I've been working on, I told y'all I'm in a round robin with some friends. So I have worked on that some. And then the other thing that I've worked on, I'm going to a retreat at the Silver Needle in Tulsa in July. And I'm taking a class before the retreat, a half-day class with Mona there. And for that class, we had to do some pre-stitching. So I'm working on that. Not making great progress, but these are quick and they'll be finished. I can finish what's left in a day. This right here will be, what is that going to be? A drum. That's going to be a drum. A little one, but a drum. And then this little bee still needs some honeycomb around it. I think that's going to be a floss holder, maybe. No, that's going to go on a little ruler, tape measure kind of thing. And this little honeycomb beehive is going to be, maybe that's going on the floss holder. And I have one more bee to do. And I'm stitching those up. She said a 28 count, so this is a Queen Anne's lace 28 count, which is, these are, stitching these have been kind of sentimental for me. My sister and my daughter are both beekeepers. And my mother loved Queen Anne's lace, which is blooming right now here in Arkansas. Everywhere you drive, I suppose it's a weed. I don't know, but my mother loved it. So I saw tons and tons of it yesterday as we were driving home. I got a couple of gifts this last couple of weeks. One of my giveaways, the winner of that giveaway, sent me a gift, which was certainly not necessary, but I'm very thankful for it. She sent me a gift card to Hobby Lobby, which I spent right away buying a couple of patriotic things. So thank you for that. And another friend who also won a giveaway made and sent me, look at these strawberries. Are those not just adorable? Y'all, it is not necessary to send a gift when I send you a gift, but trust me, I love them. I love them. It's always fun to get a gift, isn't it? Just means somebody's been thinking about you. What are my plans? I'm still working on the round robin, but I also want to do some more patriotic things. I haven't gotten to those. And what I'm going to start this afternoon is another Brenda Gervais pattern. This is Red, White, and Bloom. And I'm going to work on, I'm not sure, today I think, I don't know, maybe Uncle Sam. I want to stitch all of those. Not today, but... and I just found a scrap piece of fabric in my stash, which looks to be about the same color as those. And I'm going to use the Call for threads, except a couple of substitutes where I didn't have... for some reason, I don't have Grecian gold, and so I'm going to use another Victorian Motto thread called Amber Waves of Grain. That was in her Americana collection as well. Okay. That really is about all that I have to show you. I do have, excuse me, y'all, I have a couple of giveaways. I'm still going through my cross-stitch stuff and my quilting stuff and getting rid of things that I don't think I'll use right away. If y'all have not seen Christina at Hollis Hands Creates last two videos, you should watch those. She recently got the opportunity to buy the stash of a woman who had passed away, and she was a prolific stitcher and a beautiful stitcher. She had many, many whips with just a little bit left to finish. She had many old sampler patterns. She had several completed pieces. She stitched a lot of 1/1, and they were just gorgeous. It's really made me think a lot. I mean, that's kind of bittersweet that Christina was able to get those things. Sad, certainly, that this woman passed away, but also sweet because her family searched for someone to have these things who would pass them on to other stitchers in some way, and that's what Christina is doing. So it's made me take a good look at things that I have. I don't want to have a whole lot of whips, and I have about 20 right now. So I want to focus on those. I said that earlier in the year, and I still feel that way. I want to focus on those whips and try to get them finished, but some of them are quite large, and I've only just begun, so it's not going to be something I'll do quickly. It's going to take a while to get those finished, and in the meantime, I want to start new things, and I'm going to do that. But I am going to be mindful of what I have and try to pass on those things that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be stitching or using in some way. I also watched Finally a Farm Girl, and her last video where she showed her cross-stitch cabinet is just phenomenal. I would love to get things compacted in that way. She has a multitude of things in an antique cabinet, and I loved it. I love being organized. I'm not always organized, but I love being organized. So I'm going to take that to heart as well and try to continue my efforts to get that way, to get things straightened up and put away and be mindful of what I have and what I can share with others. So, bearing that in mind, I have a couple of things to give away today. I have this little book, which is a magazine from 2015, actually, volume 4, called 365 Cross-Stitch Designs. It's from the UK. It has some adorable patterns in it, adorable. lots of children's things, lots of florals, lots of very unusual kinds of things. A lighthouse, butterflies. Look at this floral one. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I love the children's ones. Let's see if I can find one to show you. Oh, there's some Easter ones in here. Look at these little Easter things. Cute. So, if you would like to have this, I'm going to give it away. If you would, in your comment, put the number 365. And I will draw for my next video. I also have this book, which is by James Schofield. I think it's Schofield. Home Heart Cross Stitch. This is another great one for those of you who like these bright, cheerful colors. It has a lot of children's. Magnolia Nana, I think, is the one that I saw a year or two ago. Stitched some cute things from here for a grandbaby. Oh, look at this little sweet one. So, if you are interested in this book, please use the word heart in your comment. And I will also send that one out next time. Okay, this is a short one, a little bit shorter than what I usually do, but I didn't want to get behind, so I'm glad that I was able to do it today. It is, I mean, pouring down rain out there. I wish y'all could even hear it. It's just amazing. It's good for my flowers. Everything's blooming beautifully. What little I've been able to get out. It's been too wet to get a whole lot out. And green, oh my goodness, the grass is green. It reminds me of England. Several years ago, Jerry and I went to England in July, and the flowers were so amazing. I don't know if that's typical for them in the summertime, if they still have a lot of rain in the summer. I don't know, but it was gorgeous. It was stunningly beautiful. This kind of reminds me of that. Okay, that's all I've got, y'all. I hope everyone has a great week. I hope that you are able to get lots of stitching done, and I hope that you are well. Bye-bye.